Let me guess, you from the town that I love best. Talk Memphis, I wish you would. Talk Memphis, you sound so good.
Let's jump right over into segment 2 here. How to sell your rental for top dollar. This is a big question.
Big topic,
yeah, this is a big question that I get frequently from investors on. Man, I rehabbed it. I got a tenant in there. It's perfect. It's in great shape.
Right.
And sometimes I guess it could be, and sometimes it might not be. But of course, maintain the asset safe and clean and secure is an obvious. But when you go through that, we're talking no water leaks, roof, plumbing. I mean, the first things that my investors ask me when I'm selling a home for another investor for whatever reason is, how's the roof? How's the HVAC? How's the water heater? And how's the plumbing and how's the electrical?
Yeah.
Those are 5 questions that I get every single time. And we put those, of course, on here. Water leaks, roof, plumbing, AC, keep it painted. I mean,
don't specifically the outside, keep it maintained so the wood's not rotting. You're not getting cracks and allowing critters to get into your property and create more damage. And we're just trying to make it safe, clean, and secure. If you keep that mindset all along the way, you're trying to maintain that asset to get top dollar when you need to sell. Because you just never know. I mean, that's one thing we've learned in this business is you never know when is going to be the time to sell.
Yeah, because if you're going to hold us,
I never thought I'd sell ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not an absolute statement guy, but I never thought I'd sell a property. We've sold 30 or 40, in the last 2 years.
So I look at it like this: if you're buying investment homes or rental homes, and you say, "Hey, Dean, I'm going to keep these for 30 years,"
right?
As a matter of fact, I'm never going to sell them.
Never
I'm giving them to my kids.
Yep.
They're going to sell them, or they're keep them, or whatever. Well, that's great, and you might do that. So if you're going to do that and you're going to stick with that, you got to maintain this thing.
Right.
You can't do nothing for 30 years and hand it to your kids and then expect them to do anything with it or hand it to whoever.
Right.
You've got to maintain. If you're going to sell it, you might not even know you are, but if you're going to sell it, you've got to maintain it.
Correct.
Either way, with either plan, you've got to maintain it. Some of these things we just talked about, the 5 major things, the roof, the HVAC, water heater, plumbing, and electrical. And then I keep it painted on the outside. How often do you paint a home? Every 2 years, 3 years? Paint the outside?
No, it's much less than that. Probably every 7 or 8. If you use good paint and you caulked it really well and kept it secure. So I think that we do several a month probably on our portfolio. So over 5 years, you painted half the portfolio, something like that. But the point of that is you just never know when you're going to sell. So maintain it. Some people get so short-sighted. Well, my return, I had one email yesterday, like he spent this much on rehab and tenant moved out and now we got to, spend $2,000. And so I'm net negative. And, I'm like, yeah, sometimes, but that's just happens. 1 unit out of 6, let's don't be so short-sighted. And does that make sense?
It makes tons of sense. This is the biggest one. Have great records.
Yeah.
Clean records.
Yeah.
The worst thing that you can do when you're trying to sell either a multi-unit, especially a multi-unit, but if you're selling a single-family home, can I see the lease? Oh, we don't have one.
Yeah.
What?
Well, they're month to month.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. They're on month to month.
They're going to pay.
They're going to pay.
Can I see the maintenance history? Oh, man, I've just been calling so-and-so. Yeah. He's been fixing it. That does not give an investor any confidence in your product and what they're trying to buy from you.
No.
On the flip side, can I see the lease? Yep, here's the lease. Here's my maintenance records what I've kept up with the last 2 or 3 years.
Here's my W-2 or my 10 or Schedule E for the property.
I've had it professionally managed by CrestCore. Here's all the maintenance records that they've been out to the home and things that I've done. The tenant's been in there for 3 years. Been late a few times, but she's current now and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. That is, think about if you heard that from a seller versus, I don't know, man. Yeah. It's a good house, though. Yeah. Good zip code.
We looked at some houses about 2 months ago, and not a single, at 135 house package, not a single lease.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. No records.
135 houses, they didn't have a lease.
It was all in the guy's head. But guess what? The guy went to the hospital, 49 years old, got some infection, and never came out.
Ugh.
And so, to us, the portfolio is worth half of what they were trying to get, because
there's nothing.
There's no guarantee. Billy Bob says it's 600, and you go to knock on the lady's door, and I'm not paying. I've been paying 500. Well, you don't have nothing to go back on. So you're in a bad situation. So
keep your records. Utilize your property management software. We've got Propertyware. It keeps up with everything for every house with every client.
And when I did it myself, I think there's a QuickBooks version of rental property. I used that for years. I mean, if you're already going to do it yourself, make sure you use the software. Don't just use Excel. Don't use, you know what I mean? Like,
because anyone can create a spreadsheet and manufacture that thing on a dime. That's right. If you've got history and ongoing records.
If you're going to lie about it, that took you a lot more work than just fabricating a spreadsheet from Excel.
You still could lie, but if you're going to, there's a lot more effort this way.
A lot more effort to get there, but...
Maintenance bills, work orders, warranty information on anything. If you've replaced an HVAC, a water heater, anything like that, keep your records clean. I promise you. I mean, I'd never come on here and guarantee anything. I guarantee you a buyer will look at your property more favorably, which means more money for you if your records are kept up. Keep your asset upgraded and your rents at market or above. This is also an issue that I see all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, Dean, here's a home in 38118. It's a 1,500 square feet. Now, the tenant's been in there for 2 years, and they're only paying $650. I know the rent's $850 in the area, but they're only paying $650.
Yeah.
Well, you know what that is to an investor? That's a $650 rental.
That's right.
That they want to pay $38,000, $39,000 for versus $60.
That's right.
They don't care what.
Huge.
Because how are they going to get them out? I mean, or raise the rent. You can't go to that tenant and say, "Hey, you've been paying $650 for 2 years. I need $850."
And if you figure out how to get them out, that's still going to cost you thousands of dollars between your quote eviction or giving notice, and they're going to stop paying rent, and then you got the turnover cost. And I mean, I dealt with one just last week where a owner, I had a client come to me and said the rent's $350. Can you start collecting $350? And there's plumbing issues and all this, like 4 or 5 big issues. And I wrote back to the client. I said, "Hey, can you go investigate this a little further? Because $350 is not the market. Market's more like $550, maybe $6." And sure enough, the owner, instead of fixing something, think about this. I mean, this goes back to long-term thinking, short-term thinking. The owner just kept reducing the rent versus fixing the issues.
Boy, that's
like the
worst.
That's like the double killer, as far as just the value of the property, because you still got to fix it.
Yeah, that
and
doesn't
you've degraded the property. If you got plumbing leaks or sewer underneath, you're setting yourself up for liability. You're setting yourself up for having to fix it worse and worse.
That seems like a really inexperienced thing to do.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, and that's why that guy's not in business anymore.
Yeah.
And so the guy that I was talking to bought it, and I just encouraged him, either let us fix the issues and get you back up to $550. Well, that's what I encouraged him to. I was like, I wouldn't accept $350. You know what I mean? Like, your lease is $550. Why would you take a house? There's not a house in Memphis
renting for $350.
Rent for $350 that I know of.
No, I don't want it if it is.
Yeah, that's right. So, and think about that difference in cap rate. I mean, I'm trying to think I think it reduces the value. I think I did the calculations, probably reduces the value of the property by 40%.
Yeah, see that, and investors don't buy, they buy on the rent.
Right.
Most, 90%.
That's
buy
right.
on the rent. They're looking for what the rental market is.
So it's like a $50,000 house that you started renting it for $700 for whatever reason. I came up with, if you did a 10 cap, it's worth $42,000. But if you had that rent at $850, like it's supposed to be, like everybody else, you're at $51,000. That's $9,000. $9,000. So you not want to spend that, couple thousand here and there
to fix
get to the $9,000.
The absolute worst thought process. So our last, point here on how to sell your rental home for top dollar is find the right partner to help you sell the property, and credible agent and company. It could be. Yeah, of course, I would think it is. No, we can help you sell it, but there's not many, but there are a couple other investor agents here in town. But find the right partner. You need the most exposure you can get.
That's right. MLS nowadays is just not enough.
It's not enough. It helps. It gets you on some websites that international buyers can look at.
Yeah.
Trulia, Zillow, Realtor.com, all that stuff it puts you on. But that's not, you list a residential home, that's about all you have to do. You know, you network and market to your sphere of influence, but to properly market an investment home, there are definite websites, ways, and
buyer lists,
and strategies to use to market that home to sell it for the most dollar.
That's right.
And oftentimes it's not on the MLS. I can make one call to another investor and say, here, what do you think of this product? I know you're looking. And as a matter of fact, that it sells more times than not that way than just me sticking it on the MLS and a buyer coming along saying, man, I got to have that property that you have on the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I'm connecting investors to products that they're looking for.
Yeah, when you
sellers.
see it, like I saw that email you had from last night from Douglas, who helped pick up 7 listings. You already, quote, had them sold.
I think I do. I
think
cannot
you do.
wait to get to the office because I know somebody that's looking
Look
for that
product.
Yeah.
So you got to partner with people like that have that
Both sides.
Both sides.
Not
That's
just,
right.
you know, you can get in Memphis on retail and have a listing agent.
Sure.
And they'll be great. There's several here. You know,
Right.
Judy McClellan's our biggest one. She'll sell your $1 million home like that, I'm sure.
Right.
But can she sell an $40,000 investment property? I don't know. So my point is that's all.
Or do we want to sell the $1 million home?
I don't. I'll refer that out.
Yeah, because
If
that's
somebody
not your
came to me today
lane.
and said, hey, man, I got a $2 million home out in Cordova or Collierville I want to sell. Hey, man.
I'll sell it.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Give it to David.
Give it to me.
David will be like, Dean, how do I list?
How do I list? How do I go on MLS?
That's
I was
right.
thinking about that. I got my real estate stuff yesterday.
Yeah.
The pay for the MAR. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've been an agent for 14 years. I don't even have a login for Paragon. Is it Paragon? Is that even the name?
It is Paragon. We've
Paragon.
switched a few times in my
Yeah.
day, but yes, that's it.
But I'm not the right partner to go sell
No,
your house.
I'm not the
That's
right one
point.
either. What I am going to tell you is I'm the right one to sell your investment house, though.
Yeah.
So we don't usually plug ourselves on the show, but I can definitely help you do that. It's all we do.
Well,
all
it's just
day,
finding the
every
right partner for, and specifically we're talking about investment properties today. So that's why,
right.
it makes
Right.
sense. So.
I swear I can't get